Well, hello to everybody here. It's Teresa Sanderson. Very excited to connect with all of you today. We have an amazing guest on Dare to Do Nursing Differently. Her name is Devin Patterson. So, Devin, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Same. It's really exciting. Now, for those of you in my audience who don't know Devin yet, she is a registered nurse and she is also Director of Innovation and co-founder of CerTracker, which we're going to be talking about today and just kind of letting you know what that is. Devin also brings nearly 20 years of experience as a veteran ER nurse and a healthcare leader. So again, Devin, thank you so much for joining us. Excited to have you.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Can't wait to,
Cool.
talk about CerTracker and just dive
Yeah.
in and talk about, my background and all the things.
Love that. Love that. So, and that's like the first thing, my audience, being nurses and nurse entrepreneurs, we always want to know what's your background as a nurse, girl? How'd you get started? So, share with us a little bit about that, what kind of brought you into nursing and the kind of work that you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am an ER nurse. I've been an ER nurse for about 10 years. I've been in the
Wow.
healthcare world for 20 or just about 20. I got into nursing kind of unexpected story. I'm not the, girl that's always wanted to be a nurse. I don't have that story.
Yep, yep.
I was, trying to find my way, that kind of the non-traditional college student in my early to mid 20s and just trying to, find my way. And I had initially got out of high school, got my CNA, and went to work at a facility here in my hometown in Tulsa,
Hmm.
and just kind of got there, really loved it, loved the environment. I always say I'm just a true ER nurse to the core.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
all things about me, I'm just a true ER nurse to the core. And so, yeah, I can't imagine doing anything different. ER nursing is my, my passion, my woes as well. It's a rough
Mhm.
world out there, and
Yep.
all nursing, but ER nursing can be especially tough sometimes. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got started. So my
Good.
background is almost all ER. I do have some outpatient surgery background as
Mhm.
well. I currently still work bedside, actually. I
Wow.
work PRN at a level two trauma center here in Tulsa that I've
Hmm.
been at for that whole 20 years. I started there, and
Wow.
I think I'm going to live and die
Incredible.
there. And then I work for a freestanding ER that's obviously a very different environment,
Mhm.
and is more the pace that I need at this time in life. So, yeah, that's kind of my background.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you for sharing. And I love hearing a couple things I loved hearing. I loved hearing that you started kind of early in life as a CNA, got some experience that way, but then also that you've been at the same place, at the same employer for almost 20 years. And it's almost unheard of in nursing today to hear a story like that. So I want to say just, kudos. And also, there's probably something about that employer that has kept you there or, kept you wanting to be there. Are you? It's a toss up, huh?
Yeah, it's truly a toss up. I
Okay.
would say, what keeps people at facilities isn't necessarily the facility and the corporation itself, but it's definitely
Mhm.
the environment that is built there and the family you create within your work environment.
There you go.
And, that definitely has kept me there. I, started when I was 18, actually,
Hmm.
went in as registration, then transitioned to a tech, and then
Wow.
transitioned to a nurse. So, I truly have step laddered. I think, yeah, it's definitely unheard of. And, the true
Yeah.
unfortunate part about nursing is to make money, you kind of have to leave a facility. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, that's why there's so much hopping around. You have to leave
Yep.
a facility to make money. And even
Hmm.
if you leave and come back, they're going to pay you more than they were when you left, which is
Yeah.
such an
Wow.
unfortunate part about nursing and just kind of that difficult part.
Hmm.
I'd say I've stayed there not
Interesting.
because of the facility, but because of the family that I have there. And although all the turnover,
Hmm.
um, my doctor team there has like stayed, true and through and has
Mhm.
been there for me in some of my toughest times. And so that really
Wow.
keeps me there. You know what I mean? It's
That's
definitely that
awesome.
family.
Yeah, and it's interesting that I appreciate that, just sharing that. That's a great perspective, and I think it's something that healthcare organizations really have to be thinking about, what would keep our people here, and to hear that it's not the organization itself, it's the people within it. That's definitely where, we all know that's where the value is, but
Mhm.
it's a shame that that's not always seen at the business or corporate level. So yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me, now you have transitioned, you're in the entrepreneurial space. What took you from traditional nursing into entrepreneurship? What was the catalyst that moved you that direction?
Yeah. So, my thing that, brought me to entrepreneurship, was kind of a life-changing moment for me. In 22, I was diagnosed with MS.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I was just kind of transitioning and trying to figure out, life. I knew I was done with like the true heavy bedside nursing in the sense of like being at the level 2 trauma center full time just was too much for me. Not just in
Yeah.
the sense of like, oh, now I have MS, but just like it was just becoming too much. I'd been there for so
Yeah.
long.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to try, kind of find something that was going to be great for me. And after my diagnosis, I really was just trying to simplify my life more. And I, was talking to my now co-founder, also now husband at the time,
Okay.
about, the struggles I was feeling as far as like keeping track of all of my certifications I have and just all my
Mm-hmm.
licensing. And I was travel nursing at the time. And so, there's just so much to carry around as far as in every job you transition, there's so many
Yes.
things.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew with my new found like lifestyle and new diagnosis and trying to juggle all of those new things, I truly
Mm-hmm.
needed a way to simplify life. And as I started talking
Wow.
with other nurses and new, friends and colleagues, we all kind of, came to the conclusion like there's nothing out there that's truly helping us and taking ownership of our own certifications as well and kind of empowering us as nurses to take that on and be sure that we
Mm.
are doing everything we need to do.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, essentially, I had a big lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's how I became an
That's
entrepreneur.
incredible. That's incredible. But
Thank
I
you.
want to say, well, getting a diagnosis of something like MS, that's never a welcome thing.
Yeah.
But I love that. One of the things I think is most profound about what you're saying is that I was looking for a way to simplify my life
Mhm.
and to be able to take care of myself right in this new stage. And so I chose entrepreneurship. I definitely resonate with that as somebody who had major depression for 3 years and couldn't work and healed enough to go back to traditional nursing. And I can do it, but now, like you, I choose not to. I choose
Right.
not to. I can take better care of my mental health in this environment. And that's a funny thing to say. It's almost paradoxical that it's easier and simpler to start a business with all of the risks, right? And all of the unknowns.
Oh
It's
yeah.
almost easier to do that than to do the other.
Right. Yeah. And I think I've kind of found the balance. I've,
Awesome.
went PRN at my, kind of heavy hit job and it's
Right.
perfect for me. It still allows me to feel like I'm keeping my skills and, keeping up. And then I maintained a full-time job at this smaller facility, which has been
Mhm.
really good for me. It just gives me that balance, which I think is very important in
Love that.
entrepreneurship is sometimes you get so lost in
Yep.
just entrepreneuring and all things business that sometimes
Yep.
it's good to have that balance. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, I love that story. So, drum roll, please. Now, I would love for you to tell us about CerTracker and how you help nurses today with that service.
Absolutely, would love to. So, CerTracker is an all-in-one platform for healthcare professionals, as well as healthcare organizations. We're starting to do a small transition to try and help facilities as well. But
Hmm.
we are an app currently available on Android and iOS that is free to users currently, that you can store, track, manage, and share all things certifications, licenses, vaccinations. You can even put your travel documents on there.
Oh man.
It's a digital wallet on the go is what we call it. Everyone has their phone with them everywhere they
Yeah,
go, at work. And so it's truly that digital wallet on the go, which is perfect. And we're currently launching some new things. Like I said, we're trying to dive into that organizational area as well, providing them that same simplified version and all-in-one platform that also has, kind of AI powered background running. It's got the
love it.
OCR we're working on, which is where you can drop an image and it'll pull all of the information you need,
Wow.
and do it for you. So it, is taking away all of those manual processes that are really dragging down not just the nurse on their own, but also
Mm,
facilities.
right.
They don't, facilities on their own don't really have anything that's an all-in-one platform that's simplified and, can do
Hmm.
everything you need it to do.
Yeah.
And that can integrate with their systems that they already have. And then for
Hmm.
the nurse on their own, it gives you that freedom and that empowerment of keeping track of your certifications and everything, and knowing when you're going to expire in the time frame you want to know, as well as easy sharing. You can download, and that's kind of what got me started, actually, is the sharing portion. Is when I was traveling nursing,
Yeah.
I was with a new company and I was having to share all my documents, and I sent her like 5 emails of
Oh
attachments because
man.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I just have so many. And so this compresses everything into a PDF, and so you can send it all at one time. So it's,
Nice.
truly kind of incredible. So that's kind of the
Amazing.
general ideas. It's that digital
Wow.
wallet and home for nurses and organizations, just simplifying that credentialing and compliance management process, and kind of cutting it
That's great.
down for organizations. Instead of those 65 to 90-day processes, now it can be cut down
Right.
into almost half of that. And for nurses, you're
Wow.
taking ownership of your own. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so it's really great. And our future goals are to offer, certification classes and CE courses as well, all on the platform. So it truly will
Love
be
that.
completely all in one. You won't have to go anywhere else.
Wow, that is just incredible. Just incredible. Now, your title, Director of Innovation,
Yes.
what does that mean to you?
So it means to me just truly taking ownership and innovating and empowering um, nurses on their own. And so we like to say that we're a nurse-led business. And so
Hmm.
innovating and just constantly coming up with new ideas, as well as
Hmm.
taking in all the feedback we get from other nurses as well. We pride ourselves on taking back all the feedbacks. If you
Hmm.
use our app, we are looking for good, bad, ugly feedback. We truly want
Hmm.
to always be innovating, making it better,
I love that.
coming up with new ideas. And so it's just truly important to me to do that, to always have fresh ideas and constantly be open to, new things, new ideas and all of that. And so it's really important to us to, as a healthcare product and
Hmm.
platform, to always include healthcare professionals on their in our story as well. So all nurses, we pride ourselves, we want to be open to all healthcare professionals. And so our niche and
Love
our
it.
true market are nurses, just because that we are the ones that carry so much. But
Yeah.
truly, our app is available and open to anyone. It's not restricted at all. You can, anyone can truly use it. So
Hmm.
currently we even
Fantastic.
have firefighters and teachers using our app. It's really
Wow.
been, yeah, it's been really great.
Nice. Well, that is so awesome. And I love I love your title, by the way.
Thank you.
And I believe, a big part of what's going on with the trend of nurse entrepreneurship is innovation.
Mhm.
And why is that? It's because nurses are the closest to the problem. That's why we know the solutions. I was at the Vive conference. We talked about that the
Yeah.
last time we chatted, and I was there last week in Nashville, and one of the interesting things that we found, those of us, there were several of us who went as nurses as part of the Nurse Entrepreneur Pavilion. And what we noticed about many of the tech companies that were there on the trade show floor was that they do not have a nurse involved in anywhere in their process. Wow. Missing
Yeah.
the mark completely, trying to solve problems for nurses. And this is why we have cumbersome EMR systems. This is why
Yeah.
we don't have time for patient care. All the troubles, right? If you design
Yeah,
it without
truly.
us, it's a problem.
It's truly a problem. I think it's very
Yeah.
important, in all things, nursing especially, but it's very important to have a nurse on your team if you're going to build something for nurses. It's just very important. I
Yeah,
think that's definitely a mark that's missed a lot.
indeed.
Because even though I'm a nurse myself, and we found it very important to not just take my opinion or my
Mhm.
background and my thoughts about things, but also to ask other nurses. And so we've been very purposeful about making sure we're asking a majority, because not
Hmm.
every nurse is the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
has their own nursing practice, if you will.
Yep.
And so it's just been very important. I think it's so big and missed for sure across all the
Mhm.
larger organizations and new products coming in and tech companies, that they're missing that mark, that they truly need a nurse on their team
Right, right. Oh my gosh, love that. We could probably talk about that all day.
all day.
Now, super excited to have you on the show and talking about CerTracker. Now, you made the leap and the shift from working traditional nursing to entrepreneurship, and you're balanced in that. You're still doing a little of both. That's another thing I love about nursing and entrepreneurship is you have that option.
Oh, yeah.
But you and I both know, Devin, there are so many nurses at the bedside today who are saying, I wish I had more in my life. I wish I had more balance. I wish when I was off the clock, I was truly present for my family. I
Hmm.
wish life could be different. I don't know how. I'd like to have a business, but I don't know how to start one. What could I even do? What's the one piece of advice you would share with a nurse in that situation?
One Piece is so hard, but what I will say is to always remember that balance is key in all things, and that truly clocking in and clocking out of a job sometimes is truly what it takes. And and
Mhm.
so taking that time and truly disassociating yourself in a sense and letting go at the door. My mom always told me growing up, like when I got a job at 16, she said, sometimes you have to leave home life at the door when you clock in, and kind of same
Mm,
thing when you're leaving work, you need to leave it at the door, which is very hard in nursing. We
yeah,
encounter so much emotional things just in a 12-hour shift, and
right.
so it's very hard. So I just think it's very important to, if you have an idea, just go for it. Truly just go for
Mhm.
it. you know, we are the up and coming, like tech innovators, truly. And,
Yes.
just like we said, we think all tech things that have to do with nursing and healthcare should have a nurse or someone from the healthcare world on their team. And so that's
Hmm.
important. So just getting out there, creating that balance, trying to separate yourself from home life and work life, I think it's very
Hmm.
important, but also processing everything you endure in that job. Nursing is
Mm,
heavy, very,
I
very
love
heavy.
that.
And
Hmm.
so sometimes sometimes you can't leave it at the door. And so I think it's
Hmm.
very important. And when I was working full time at the trauma center, we would meet for dinner after we'd leave work, go to dinner, and then we'd go home, which was really good and gave me that
Hmm.
balance of, I had coworkers, I had colleagues, and who had become family, where we can unload, talk about our day, and
Hmm.
kind of leave it there, and then go home and you're fresh and you've unleashed all of your emotions and heavy day. You know what I mean? And so you're
Hmm.
not bringing it home. I think it's really hard,
Right.
and you encounter a lot in nursing relationships with people who aren't
Hmm.
also in the healthcare field. It's hard to kind of sometimes understand. And so, long answer for you, but essentially, essentially leave it at the door, trust yourself, go for it. All you can do is just literally go for it. And so, finding that balance, letting go of emotions, and just go for it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. So for anybody in the audience who's thinking about starting a business, that's your message today. Just go for it.
Go for
Just
it.
go for it. Yeah. There's
We got nothing to lose. Just go for
there
it.
is truly nothing to lose. That is the thing. Yeah. Is it scary? Is it different? Yes.
Absolutely.
But what if it succeeds beyond your wildest dreams? That's the thing, you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's just crazy. What impact could you make? What difference would you make if everything you
Absolutely.
envisioned showed up, came true?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
will add that what really helped us in the beginning, and myself especially, because I had no business background at all,
Hmm.
is we joined a um like kind of an innovator, but it was for brand new
Hmm.
startups
Love
who
it.
take you through that experiment process and kind of teach you all of those things you need to know. And they give you a small
Nice.
amount of money to really just test your idea. Is it a good idea? Is it going to work? Can it, scale and all of those things? And so I
Hmm.
really encourage people as well, especially like myself
Hmm.
who have no idea about
Yeah,
business, to do
yeah.
something like that. You have the idea, you're like, I'm going to take the leap. I would look for something like that in your city, to
Hmm.
do something like that. I really think it was truly beneficial for us. And so I definitely recommend that as well.
I love that. And there are so many resources. That's the thing. Yeah, if what you're lacking is knowledge in some area, that's just something you need to beef up. Any of us can learn anything.
Oh,
Clearly,
yeah,
we became nurses, right? So we
truly,
can learn. We can learn.
truly.
All right. Oh my gosh. Well, I love, love, love that advice. Now, before we finish up today, Devin, I just want to give you the floor. I want to give you an opportunity to share with our audience, how can they connect with you outside of this interview? How can they access CertTracker? And give it a try, those kind of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So please check us out. Help, empower yourself and take ownership of your certifications, credentials, and simplify your life. We are currently available on iOS and Android Play stores. So download our app. It's currently free. Check us out. We would love that. We are on all social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, all under CertTracker with one T. And you can check us out at the AONL conference, March 30th through April 2nd, I believe, in Boston. We will be there in the Innovator Showcase. So please come
Love
by if
it.
you're going to be there. We're going to be there, displaying CertTracker, talking all about it, giving the ins and outs. And so, yeah, download our
I
app, check us out, connect. We would love to hear from everyone.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's so great. You're going to be at AONL. I'm going to be there. It's going to be
Oh, perfect.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah. So we'll
Yes,
connect in
it'll be
Boston
great.
for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Devin, for being my guest. It's just a pleasure to have you here and share your story. And yeah, to all of our viewers who are watching out there, this is the end of this episode, and we will see you the next time on Dare to Do Nursing Differently. Bye for
Thanks,
now.
Teresa.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye, everyone.